Hey my friends, welcome back to the farm. We are in the kitchen again today because it's a muddy mess outside. We're waiting for things to dry up. What we're going to make today is Kelly's mom's Italian pasta salad. If you've never had an Italian pasta salad before, you're really going to like this one. So let's get going. Now, when we were on our live feed Friday night, Alex Hernandez said he really loved our macaroni salad recipe, and he said keep the pasta salad recipes coming. So Alex, here's another one for you. So in this recipe, it calls for the tricolor pasta. This is your tricolor pasta here. Now, looking at this box, can you notice any difference in what you're used to? I do. Right there, 12 ounces. Most of the recipes call for a pound of pasta. But again, they're shortchanging the consumer. They are lessening the amount of pasta in the package and keeping it the same price, hoping you will not notice. If you're one of those people like me, you notice. And if there was a brand other than this one that on the shelf that had tricolor pasta, I would have bought the one that's 1 pound. So if you're a pasta company, you're not doing yourself any favors by doing that. So let me show you what this causes. So in this package, we're missing 4 ounces of pasta. You think about 4 ounces, oh, that can't be that much. This is 4 ounces of pasta. This is how much is missing out of that box when they short you 4 ounces. That's quite a bit. That would feed one of your kids right there. So crazy. Stuff needs to stop. So I always keep a bag of pasta, a big bulk bag of pasta in the pantry, and I'll weigh out 4 ounces of pasta. When I'm doing a recipe like this, the ratios need to be correct. If I'm just making spaghetti or something like that, I can get by with 12 ounces of pasta. But if you have a lot of ingredients, like in this pasta salad that we're going to make, that makes a difference. That's going to change your whole flavor profile. So we're going to get these boiled up and cooled off like we would for any pasta salad. And we'll get back to this now that my rant is over. All right, our pasta is cooked and it is done. We've chopped everything that needs to go in this. And once we drain the pasta, we cooled it off and drained it, and then we let it sit in our big mixing bowl for a while. And then what that does is the pasta in the bowl soaks up whatever moisture is still on it or whatever's in the bottom of the bowl. So now it's almost dry. So that's what you want to do so the water doesn't repel your dressing. So now in our pasta, couldn't be any easier. We have 1 pint of grape tomatoes, and I just cut them in half. And then we have half a cup of chopped red onion. And then we have 3/4 of a cup. You can use any color pepper you want as long as it's sweet. So we had some yellow pepper. I had red pepper also, but with the red tomatoes, I didn't want to add any more red. And then we got 4 ounces or a small can of sliced black olives, but we have these that we really enjoy. These taste like olives used to taste, like real olives, so we use these. And it's not much more. It calls for 3-point-something ounces, and this can here, let's see here, is only 6 ounces. So we got about double what we need, but I really love these olives, so I just cut those in half like I did the grape tomatoes. So we also have a half a cup of chopped cucumber, which I really don't like, but it needs to go in the salad because Kelly likes them and the salad calls for it. I'll clean these bowls out here in a second. So we need mozzarella cheese. You can use any type of mozzarella cheese you want. We just use the fresh mozzarella cheese that comes in a ball, and then you need a half a pound of that. And then we're going to do pepperoni. Now, the ideal type of pepperoni is the whole stick pepperoni, if you can get it, and then cut it into little cubes like we did the cheese. But next best thing are these little mini pepperonis that you can buy for salads. So we got a half a pound of those, one package. It's not exactly half a pound, but it's close enough. Got them all out of there. You want to make sure too that they come apart as you're mixing up, and these will pretty good. Now, if you just had sliced pepperoni, you would just probably maybe quarter it, but then again, make sure it's all separated. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of liberty with this recipe. Kelly's mom's recipe does not have any parsley. I'm putting a quarter cup of fresh chopped parsley in there because I think I'm going to like that. So let's talk about dressing before we stir this up. All right, this recipe calls for good seasoned Italian dressing. And I know if you think like I do, why does everything have to have a package? Why can't they just give me the raw ingredients where I don't need to go buy a package of stuff at the store? So we can do that for you. We have one of these little dressing pitchers that we buy from Pampered Chef. It has milliliters, it has ounces, and it's also got 5 recipes. You got Italian dressing, you've got French dressing, you've got Asian dressing, and you've got Caesar dressing with all the ingredients also and the lines for all the liquid. So if we go over here to Italian dressing, you can see that you need 4 ounces of white wine vinegar or balsamic vinegar, or even red wine vinegar is good. And then up here at the 12-ounce line, you would need vegetable oil. So since we've already got 4 ounces of vinegar in there, that leaves 8 ounces of your vegetable oil. Now, this recipe is twice as much as what you need for this salad. So if you're going to use all of these ingredients, cut all this in half. You also need 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 pressed garlic cloves, half a teaspoon of dried oregano, a quarter teaspoon of dried basil, a quarter teaspoon of onion powder, and a quarter teaspoon of salt. And then what's nice about this pitcher is you got the little plunger in here to mix it all up. But do your wet ingredients first so you can fill to the lines if you're using the lines. And then put your dry ingredients in so it doesn't mess your ratios up. But again, you would cut all that in half. So we're going to go by, it also tells you on the package here how many ounces to use if you don't have their little carafe that automatically mixes it with the lines and stuff on it, similar to that one. But Kelly's mom, Linda, she changes the ratio. She cuts the oil in half. So it calls for a half a cup of oil. So we're only going to use a quarter cup of oil. And then you take that other quarter cup and you add it to the vinegar. So instead of a quarter cup of vinegar, we're going to use a half a cup of vinegar. And then we'll still use the 3 tablespoons of water and the contents of this package. So that's how it works. You can do the same thing with this one, figure out what your ounces are, and then you would cut the oil ounces in half and then add that to the vinegar amount. Same thing. So we'll get this mixed up. So once we get everything mixed up with the dry ingredients and everything, we're sitting at about the 7-ounce line. So if you're using store-bought Italian dressing or Italian dressing, like the Good Seasons in the bottle, you'd need about 7 ounces of it. And then I wanted to show you something else too. So I came across this in a publication years ago, and it's got a bunch of different vinaigrette dressings on it that we really enjoy. So you can screenshot this and write this stuff down, but it's got all the different kinds of vinaigrette you can make. I just have it taped here on the inside of our cupboard where all my vinegars and oils and everything is. So lots of different stuff there you can make, from herb vinaigrette, your standard basic olive oil vinaigrette, to sesame, all of that. So pretty cool recipes on there and pretty handy to have around. All right, we got everything in the container. Give it a little stir. We're going to stir all of our stuff together, and then we'll drizzle our dressing over it and give it a stir again. Beautiful looking salad, very colorful. And when you're picking your ingredients, you can just go by colors you want, like your peppers and your onions and all that. We got the purple from the onion, got the red from the tomatoes, we got the green, we got the white. So when you're picking your peppers, just figure out, even your olives, I guess. If we had black olives in here, if we could find some black olives we liked, that would be another added color. Would be cool. All right, we've got all of this pretty well combined. So let's get our dressing on there. Let's turn our lid to where the opening opens. Oh, we forgot to add the water in here. It gets 3 tablespoons of water. Stand by. All right, we averted disaster. The water probably just kind of waters down the vinegar flavor, maybe. Maybe that's what it's for. Helps if I turn that again. Dump that all over our salad. So the water we added was equal to 1.5 ounces. So instead of 7 ounces of store-bought dressing, you would use 9. Just measure it out in your measuring cup. It smells really good. We used our homemade red wine vinegar. Hopefully Kelly likes it. If you don't know how to make your homemade red wine vinegar or wine, any kind of vinegar, there's lots of videos on the internet. But all we did is whenever we have like partial bottles of red wine laying around, we had some wine vinegar already from Portugal that had the mother kind of in the bottom. So we poured that in a big gallon jug, what was left in the bottom. This is actually the glass jar. We poured what was left in a big gallon jar, and then partial bottles of wine we just keep dumping in there. And the vinegar converts the alcohol in the wine and turns it to vinegar. There's been people that have been making vinegar families for centuries, and they safeguard the mother, because the mother, just like sourdough bread, is what gives the vinegar its distinct flavor. So families have had the recipes for centuries and have handed it down, and they go as far as to separating parts of the mother and keeping them in like 4 different places, like 4 different houses or buildings. So if there's a catastrophe and their building breaks or burns down, they don't lose that mother that they've been saving for hundreds of years. Pretty cool. Alton Brown, if you watch Food Network, did a really neat show on vinegars. And he actually came out to the classic wine vinegar business that we used to live out by in California. And he did a show on that. It was really cool. So if you look it up, probably on YouTube, you can find it. It's a nice show. So this is all incorporated. Everything's mixed up nice. So now what we're going to do is we're not going to put it in our classic yellow Pyrex bowl for salads. I'm going to put this in a gallon Ziploc bag, and I'll show you why. Now, as usual with any of our recipes, don't be afraid to make them your own. Before you put this in the bag, do a taste test. If you want a little salt and pepper, do that to taste. If you like a little more vinegar, put a little more vinegar. Whatever flavor you like. If you think it needs more of any of the other ingredients, like the vegetables or anything like that, now's the time to do it. So let's show you, once we get it in the bag, what we do. So here's our bag of salad. The reason I put it in the bag, so you can come by every now and then, flip it over, if the dressing's not all absorbed, it'll run down through it again. You can do that every now and then in the fridge. Also, that fits a lot easier in the fridge than a big old bowl, and you can just serve out of it what you want unless you're at a party or something. Just take a serving out, close it back up, and throw it back in the fridge. All right, folks, that's Kelly's Mom's Italian pasta salad. It's really good. If you like dishes like this, I suggest you try it. It's a good side for taking to different functions, or you can make a meal out of it because it's got just about everything you would want in it. It's got the vegetables, it's got the dairy, it's got the carbs for the pasta, it's got some meat in it. So make it a meal if you want. Have a bowl of it and be good. So till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. Come back and see us here on Markelly Farm. We love you.